Greetings and welcome to the channel. My name is Dr. Gyesie, transformational coach here at Inner Mileage, where we help folks heal, transform, and optimize their lives right here, right now. What if I told you that the toxicity you experience at work isn't just personal, it's structural, energetic, and even quantum? Today, we're diving into one of those most covert and destructive phenomena in workplaces, narcissistic abuse. But we're not stopping there. We're unpacking this from every angle: neuroscience, energy dynamics, quantum mechanics, and so forth, and the role that empaths play in all of this. So let's start with the fundamentals, which is what is narcissistic abuse in the workplace. Narcissistic abuse is a systematic form of manipulation, control, and exploitation, often carried out by individuals with very narcissistic tendencies or narcissistic tendencies. In the workplace, it's particularly insidious because it hides behind professional facades, high performance, charm, or authority. Let's break down some examples of some of these characteristics in the workplace. For example, there's exploitation of others for personal gain. There's gaslighting, making you question your reality on your production or your deliverables. There's triangulation, where colleagues are pitted against each other. And of course, there's sabotage, which is undercutting your work and your reputation. For example, imagine this. A manager or leader constantly takes credit for your hard work or subtly excludes you from meetings where key decisions are made. That gnawing feeling of self-doubt, the constant question of your worth, that's no accident. It's all part of the abuse cycle. So why does this happen, and how does it thrive in workplaces? Let's talk about the mechanics. I'll go through maybe 3 or 4 examples. The first is hierarchies and corporate culture. Of course, there are exceptions, like companies with flatter hierarchies or much more nimble and agile. But generally, workplaces are often hierarchical. And that structure creates a perfect breeding ground for narcissists. So narcissists are the bad apples, right? They're great leaders, they're wonderful leaders, they're average leaders. But we're focused on the narcissists who mask as top performers and so forth. But why does this happen? It's because the hierarchies allow narcissists to leverage their power over others. And in organizations that value performance, deliverables, profit, sometimes people can't fall to the bottom, or traits like, let's call it ruthlessness and self-promotion, are not just rewarded, they are celebrated. The second dynamic here is the energetics and the quantum mechanics of this. Here's where it gets very fascinating. So narcissists are typically referred to as energy vampires. So they thrive on the empath's high vibrational energy, positivity, potential, verve, and so forth. And quantum mechanics tells us that everything in the universe resonates at a specific frequency. So empaths, with your authenticity and emotional resonance, naturally vibrate higher. And the narcissist, they are instinctively drawn to this light, like moths to a flame. It's a dynamic in all kinds of narcissistic arrangements, because the narcissist has a predatory instinct for what empathic energy is and how to leverage it, because they need it for their survival, even at work. And then when we look at it from a neuroscience standpoint, research shows that narcissists have overactive brain regions linked to self-preservation and reward. There's the amygdala and the nucleus accumbens, right? And brain scientists can confirm this. So you realize it's not just about personality, it's biology. And on the other side, the empath's brain shows heightened activity in mirror neurons, making empaths more attuned to other people's emotions, which makes them the perfect target for manipulation. So the question is, why are empaths targeted? What about non-empaths? Well, non-empaths are not threatening. But if you're an empath, and generally so, you might wonder, why me? Why me? It's not because you're weak as an empath. It's mainly because of how powerful you are. So some traits and some reasons why this happens is: one, the empath is authentic, creative, emotionally intelligent, and deeply connected to an inner moral compass. And these traits threaten a narcissist whose self-image is often fragile and constructed on external validation. So that's the first. The second is energetic dynamics. So if you think of it like a magnet, your authenticity and light creates a field of energy that's both inspiring and intimidating. And the narcissist's goal is to dim that light so they can feel more in control. It's as simple as that. And you may wonder why you get these attacks. And there's significant evidence. For example, in the 2018 Workplace Dynamics study, researchers found that 45% of identified empaths, 45% of narcissists identified empaths, so people with empathic traits, as the greatest obstacle to control. So there's evidence for this. Then finally, when we look at it from a spiritual perspective, empaths aren't just targeted, they are called to disrupt toxic environments and step into their role as light workers. So it's not just about surviving, it's about bringing transformation that leads to new processes, products, hence profit or high performance. But let's take a broader look. If we zoom out for a second, narcissistic abuse in the workplace isn't just about individuals, it's also about the system. The very construct of work often enables this abuse. So some examples for this include systemic issues. So corporate cultures often prioritize deliverables and profit and productivity, sometimes over emotional intelligence. And there are examples of organizations where emotional intelligence is highly valued, but not all. And when leaders lack empathy, it creates a ripple effect throughout the organization. Also, if you think about the workplace as an energetic field, toxic leadership emits low vibrations that ripple down, creating an environment where manipulation thrives. And often, empaths can feel this acutely since they're very attuned to the energy of the room. And of course, constant exposure to narcissistic abuse keeps the brain in fight or flight mode. So over time, this elevates cortisol levels, so the acidic nature of the body, and impacts the brain, or the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and emotional regulation. So this is pretty serious. So what to do? What is an empath to do, and how does an empath deal with transforming the dynamic? First is to recognize that you as the empath are not powerless, as you've been made to feel or gaslighted to feel. That in fact, you are a catalyst for change and transformation that has measurable impact. But of course, because you naturally attract narcissists, it's important to have some tips in mind. For example, how you empower yourself is critical. So the things you do that ground you, like mindfulness, meditation, practicing detachment and practicing gratitude, and keeping documentation of your experiences, and also establishing boundaries, enables you to empower yourself. Secondly, recognize that you can use what neuroscience is called neuroplasticity to rewire responses. In other words, when you understand what is happening, you become less triggerable because you realize that there's a dynamic that's above and beyond the third dimensional interaction between you and the narcissist. And of course, it's important to see this from a big picture perspective, realizing that as part of your spiritual initiation, and here borrowing from the work of Joseph Campbell, The Hero's Journey, narcissistic abuse or trauma is simply initiation, a challenge that prepares you to step into your purpose. So you're not just surviving, you're transforming. But ultimately, it's important to realize you're not alone. And when this is happening, it's important, if you can, to work with a certified coach like myself. And you can book a free session or type transform in the comment section if I can be of help to you. Or mental health, a certified or licensed mental health professional. Remember, your light is your power, Don't let anyone dim it. Like, share, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with anyone who can benefit. And remember, there's no one like you. Peace.